I'm not here to tell anybody what they should or shouldn't do, but I will tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not doing keto. I'm not doing carnivore. I'm not doing intermittent fasting. I'm not going to do whatever diet trend is popular at the moment. What I am doing is following my doctor and my nutritionist because they have 12 years of my labs, of my history, of my family history, and they know my body and the things that I've been through and I'm still going through a whole lot better than a bunch of random internet experts. And that actually ties into this week's update because I want to talk to you about blood sugar and how my goal is not to keep it flat all the time. Welcome to Slow and Steady with Andy. I'm Andy, and this week I am going to be talking to you about how my week 3 on 10 milligram Mounjaro went, how my blood sugar is doing, and I'll be taking my 4th injection of the 10 milligram. And the reason why I brought that all up in the beginning is because I've been wanting to talk about blood sugar, specifically my blood sugar. I actually track mine every day on my Dexcom. That would be this right here. This is the Dexcom G7 15-day sensor. It's pretty cool because I don't have to wait for my A1C to know what's going on with my body. I can see the ups, the downs, how my body is actually responding to what I eat. When I first found out that I was type 2 diabetic, which was last summer, so it was May of 2025. My doctor and my nutritionist talked to me about my plan moving forward, which my plan is not a diet per se. The idea of how I eat is modeled after a diabetic plate way of eating. And that's just a balance of carbs, yes, carbs, and fats and protein and fiber. And they also told me that the goal is not to have my blood sugar going in this flat line all the time. I know there's a lot going on the internet that tells you that is the goal, but you guys, if all our body knows how to do is stay in a flat line, what happens when we do have something that's considered a sugar, carbs? What really happens when we try to keep our blood sugar in a straight line all the time is that our body forgets how to process sugar. So, my doctor and my nutritionist want me to have a balance of all those things I told you that are in the diabetic plate way of eating. So, yes, I do have potatoes, I do have bread, I do have pastas, and I am much happier and healthier because of it. And if you look at my Dexcom readings, you can see I'll show you in 3 hour, 6 hour, 12 hour, and 24 hour. You can see how my line goes up and down throughout the day. And you can probably tell where it stays the flattest for the longest is while I'm sleeping. And also, what I wanted to show you is that even though my blood sugar is going up and down throughout the day, it is staying in a healthy range for me as a type 2 diabetic. So the things I'm eating, even though you see my blood sugar going up, my body is actually reacting the way it is supposed to. And it is not spiking over that 180, which would be an unhealthy range. So my goal is not to have a perfectly flat line all day. The goal set by me and my doctor and my nutritionist is to stay in a healthy range and let my body respond the way it's supposed to. I've actually learned the hard way that trying to keep my blood sugar flat all the time doesn't work well for me. When I was doing keto for several years, I barely let myself even look at carbs, let alone eat them. And yes, initially in the beginning, I did lose weight. But then over time, I started to gain the weight back. My blood pressure skyrocketed. My cholesterol started going back up. My blood sugar became super unstable. My doctor was not happy that I was doing keto. She highly recommended that I don't do keto. And I wish I would have listened, because despite what I know so many of the experts, the keto experts, say on the internet, the only thing keto did was teach my body how not to be able to process carbs. And I'm not going to apologize for saying that for me, keto is so unsustainable and miserable. To not have bread or some pasta sometimes, some rice, beans, like, I'm sorry, you guys. I just think that's crazy. And I feel personally that I was very brainwashed during that whole keto boom. And I am so happy that I am not doing that anymore. I am totally content if my weight loss is going to take a lot longer, not doing something extreme, because mentally I am so much happier not following some strict restrictive way of eating, then I am fine with that. And actually, with the way I'm eating now, I am so much more stable. The focus is no longer zero spikes in my day. It is just balance. And that's one of the reasons I am so happy that I decided to take a chance and start Mounjaro, because for the first time in so many years, everything is becoming more stable. Being on this medication is helping to heal my metabolism that keto really destroyed. And now my blood pressure has been going back down. I'm on half the dose of blood pressure medication that I was on when I started. As you can see with my Dexcom, I'm able to see that my blood sugar stays in range 24/7. Well, once in a while it goes low, and that's because sometimes I'm not eating enough to keep my blood sugar stable through the day. For me, the whole intermittent fasting thing, if I don't get food in my system by 9 o'clock in the morning, my blood sugar tanks so low. And before Dexcom and before like this whole diabetic journey, for the past 2 years, I've been dealing with having really dizzy episodes and almost to the point of passing out. There were times where, well, for 2 to 3 years, I was walking around everywhere I went with a cane, with a walking cane, because I felt like so unstable sometimes, like I was just going to fall over from my head swimming. And I blamed it all on the Meniere's disease that I have, because I do have Meniere's disease, which is a vestibular balance issue. But all of that has subsided. I don't use a cane anymore. I haven't used it since probably a month after I started the Mounjaro, because I don't have those episodes. And now I know that what was happening was I was having super low blood sugar going on. So basically, I don't want to ramble too much about it, but I just want to share with you that I think we need to be careful about who we're trusting. And I feel like sometimes, well, a lot of times, doctors get a really bad rap. And yeah, there are some doctors out there that all they want to do is throw medications at you and not really hear your needs. But there are really great doctors. And I am 100% confident that my doctor and my nutritionist, who is also a doctor, they're both in the same practice, which is awesome. I'm confident that they are very, very good doctors. So I just wanted to share that with you, because I do get a lot of suggestions that I know they're coming from a good place, but I'm just not going to follow people who claim to be doctors on the internet. So I'm going to trust the people who see my labs, who, order my tests, who I can talk to whenever I need to talk to and have direct interaction. They know my history, and that is really important to me. So, anyways, let me know. I'm really curious to know if any of you are on a CGM And if you are, do you use the Libre or the Dexcom or something else? Let me know in the comments down below if you are Team Dexy or Team Libre. So with all that being said, let's talk about how week 3 and the 10 milligram Mounjaro went for me. I definitely feel like this week I felt an increased response to the medication. And so I take my injection on Friday. So from Saturday all the way through Tuesday, I had really strong appetite suppression. It was wonderful. Food noise is definitely still staying pretty quiet for me, aside from those moments when I'm working, like I told you about, where I start feeling really tired and I do get that kind of voice in my ear wanting to eat something just to help me stay awake. But I am happy to report that I have been staying on track. Like, I'm not somebody who likes to talk about myself in a way where I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of myself. But you guys, since starting this Mounjaro journey, I really am proud of myself. Even though my weight loss isn't totally reflecting how successful I think everything has been, I know that I have been staying on track. I have been really, really committed to all the changes that I have been making. So I just, I am sure, like I just feel in my bones, even though I have those times where I do feel discouraged, I really feel hopeful that I am going to reach those goals. It's going to take longer, but it's just different. It's so different this time than all the other times that I've told myself, all right, we are going to do this. We are going to get healthy and we are going to lose weight too. As far as any negative side effects, I haven't experienced any of those common, like, yucky side effects. I'll show you right here my weight. I actually did drop a little bit more weight this week, so I'll take it. I will take it. Any little bit, as long as we don't start going back up. And just to update you on my husband, if you watched last week's update, I told you how my husband has been having more swelling than usual in his feet and his legs. So his doctor told him to stay off the semaglutide for a week and see if there was any change. There hasn't been any change, so we're figuring that it's not the medication itself causing the issue. So tonight he's going to be taking his first injection of the zero point 0.5 dose of the semaglutide GLP-1 compound that he's been using through Piper. And I will put a referral code in the description box down below for Piper. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. It's just, as a customer, we got a referral code that we can give out to people. And I think it will give $50 off if you decide you wanted to try the medication. So that will be down there. And I'm going to get everything set up so I can take my 4th injection. Usually at this point, I show my injection on camera, but this week the clip didn't save because technology likes to keep me humble. So week 4 injection is done and we'll see what this next week brings. If you're on this journey too, especially if you're a slow responder like me, you're not alone. Thanks for being here and I'll see you next week. Bye!
Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year ago.